Everyone. Thanks for watching MJS Coaching Football. I really appreciate it. And if you're a non-subscriber, you should really just push the button. It doesn't cost anything, and you would have access to well over 500 different videos, all parts of various playlists, and we're hoping to add to that every single year. So, with all that being said, this is part of our Sim Pressure package playlist. So as I go over it up here, I'm going to go over it clockwise. I'm going to start with Pacific, then go to Atlantic, Mass, and Cali. So non-subscribers right out of the chute, you got to push the button and it would all make sense. Okay? So what we're going to go over here with you today is what we call our max sim pressure. It's a single plug. All right. And what I'm showing you is out of our 5 front system, which is our 3 down. Okay, we have a 2 down and a 4 down system. This is our base 3 down system, and the other two spawned from this. Over here, I'll briefly touch on what is meant by a single plug. The biggest aspect of it, how you got to convince your players that nothing's not a new pressure here. They're just lining up differently. Okay, but that's huge, even at the college level. And then ultimately, what's the effect on the coverage? And then from there, I'll diagram it for you and go through those same key coaching points. Okay. So, first up, what is meant by a single plug concept? Well, it's either a second or a third level defender in order for it to be a blitz or a plug. So, in this case, it's an inside linebacker, second level, and he is going to blitz the opposite A gap. All right. So, here's my last freebie, non subscribers. If it begins with an M, then it's the Mike linebacker who's blitzing. Okay, so it makes it easier for our players. It allows us to be extremely diversified with our blitz package. Okay, so then number two, and here's the big thing, right? How do you convince your players, even at the college level, that this isn't a totally new pressure, right? So, right? Because even at the college level, these guys are full-time students. They got a lot going on. For us, Division III, our guys are also working, right? Trying to help put themselves through school, get spending money, or in some cases, both. So it's not as easy as it might seem. So what we do, and you got to work on it, and work. It's not, you do it once and they ought to get it and never forget, right? We start from the premise, look, yes, it's a different starting point. So you got to acknowledge, right? Always be upfront and honest with your players. Yes, you are starting in a different place. Right? You're out of your comfort zone. And then from there, we also point out, well, imagine what that's doing to the offense, right? Different starting point, but here's the key: it's the same end point. It's a max. So another key coaching point is always do the same blitz package from your base system. Okay, try not to ever recreate a whole different blitz package system for a sim pressure. I mean, you're just complicating the whole thing. So what we do in the spring is we go through at least half the spring installing our base fronts and coverages as well as our base blitz package families. And then as we get into the second half of spring, so it's in for preseason, yeah, that we benefit from that, no doubt. But there are plenty of states in this country that high schools are allowed to practice throughout the summer or they have spring practice, right? So there are plenty of places that can do this as well. The second half of spring, we implement our sim pressure front disguises like you see here, Pacific, Atlantic, Mass, Cali. And then the same pressures, we introduce the different starting point, same ending point. So then it doesn't take long in the preseason to, oh, yeah, I remember we did this in the spring, and they bring the new guys up to full because new guys latch on in a good, good culture. You want your new guys to latch on to the veteran return guys because, peers, they're more likely to take stock in what one of their fellow players say than they are with a coach. They're most likely going to be more comfortable talking to a peer than they are to a coach, right? Because you got that whole game. They want the coach to think that they know everything and they don't need any. Well, we know the reality, right? So if you've established a good culture, then your return guys are going to be good mentors to your new guys, and it kind of expedites the process. And then that continues when the once new guys are now returners, and they do the same, right? Pay it forward. So the effect on the coverage, and I purposely have it drawn up for three by one, four wide receiver set. The three receivers are to our left and all the diagrams, because in the 3 by 1 it has the biggest impact. Meaning, in this particular case, Max, but any of our pressures, the formation 3 by 1 affects the coverage most. So we come up with a very simple rule for 3 by 1. We spin the coverage to the three receiver side. Boom, done. That's automatic. Okay. So spin, and when we say spin, we mean the two safeties, right? We start off too high, middle open look. On the snap, we spin. So now it's a one high, middle closed, right? So that's our rule, automatic. Spin to the three receiver side. So I purposely have it so it's drawn up in the four different looks, right? So you could see how that same rule, spin to the three, and it's always to the left in this particular video, how it works. Okay? So as I said before, I'm going to start here in Pacific and work clockwise. And yes, this does get messy pretty quickly. Okay? So what I have are our down linemen, our three defensive linemen underlined. Okay? And so I have the mic boxed. So first things first, what is meant by the first and then the second, pun intended. On the snap of the ball, our mic has to pop, right? So he's got to pop off the line. We just use the term pop, and then you got to teach it and rep it, every day in the spring and the preseason, and then just once a week in season. They're up foot, the one closest to the ball is the one they're going to pop off the line of scrimmage on, drive hard off. We just use the term pop, right? It's pretty simple. Because the mic's on the right, he makes a Ringo call. He's going to pop off, and he's got to be patient. So he's got to let and see these two linemen cross his face before he plugs. So this is a pop and a plug, right? Pop, then plug. It's kind of like that TV commercial, sign then drive. Initially it was sign and drive, and the advertisement had people driving all over, but that's not modeling good behaviors while you're driving. So they changed the ad campaign to sign then drive, right? Pop, then plug. Right? Got to be patient. And that defensive end's rushing into the C gap. Okay, so then now the coverage, since the three receivers are left, the rule tells them Louis was spinning left. Okay, so the outside linebacker, the dime, happens to be lined up over here, so he's the tray. On the snap, he screws down, he's the deuce. Corners are always the ace. On the snap, he spins middle. So our safeties don't help the quarterback. They don't spin until the ball snapped. Okay? Over here now, how are we going to cover the running back? The inside linebacker and the other outside linebacker. So the two linebackers available to cover the running back are in what we call Rob combo, rover and backer. And the outside linebacker on the snap is going to run over to the other side. He's going to pop off. So we now have the combo on the running back. So no matter which side the back goes to, he's accounted for. And then, of course, the boundary over here, ace on the number one receiver. Okay? So that's how it looks in Pacific. So now over here in Atlantic, the three receivers are still left, so it's still going to be Louis. So we'll take care of the coverage first. Now this time the two linebackers not blitzing, okay, are on the side of the three receivers. So we'll see how that affects the combo on the running back, because now the rover is the tray, ball snaps, screw down. He's the deuce, he's the ace, ball snapped, spin middle. Then I keep saying ball snap to re-emphasize. Safeties don't spin until the ball snap. Don't help the quarterback, right? Ace. So now same thing. He's going to pop, then plug. Now he's got to see the end, the nose, and then pop plug the opposite A gap. Now the stud is right there in the C gap from the get-go. So now the combo, what two linebackers are available? You got the backer and the dime, which means it's a bad combo, right? Bad, backer and dime. Rob, right? Be creative. Keep it simple. Have it make sense. R and B, Rob. B and D, bad. Backer and dime. So now the backer, is going to pop, but he can stay in his side because he and the backer and the dime are on opposite sides from the get-go. Okay? So as you see, it's the mic plug and opposite A gap. Nothing's changing, but now you're also seeing the impact on the coverage. So now coming down here to mass. I still have the defensive line underline and the mic boxed in. Anytime the mic stacks the center, he makes a Ringo call. All the pressures. Okay? So he's still second. But now, okay, he only has to wait for the end to go first. So we'll do that. Bang. Because the nose goes A gap opposite the call, right? Or goes to the call, my bad. It ends up being A gap opposite. So just like up here when it was Ringo, the mic plugged the left A gap. Now the mic's going to still plug the left A gap. Everything stays the same, but it's very different looking than it is up here. See what's happening? He just takes his C gap. Now the three linebackers who aren't blitzing are all on the side of the three receivers, dime, rover, and backer. So how's that going to work? Well, first of all, the outermost is the dime, so he beats the tray. Safety's going to screw down on the snap, be deuce. Whip's going to rotate middle on the snap, middle third. Field corner's going to be ace, boundary's going to be ace. So that leaves the rover and the backer again, right? So they're in a Rob combo. So just like up here when they were in a Rob combo and the rover went to the other side, same's going to happen here. He'll pop off. So we end up with a linebacker on either side to combo the running back. But it's a very different looking pressure than it is from Pacific, than it even is from Atlantic. And now you get a fourth different look from Cali. Now the three linebackers not involved in the blitz are away from the three receivers. So, oh my God, how do we handle that? Well, you're going to see right now, okay? But first, since the mic is stacked over the center, he makes the Ringo call. Excuse me. Okay? So, before I do anything with the coverage, he's got to go there. He goes first because he goes to the call. He goes to the right A gap. Plugs the left A gap, so that's similar, but look at what's going on up front. D-line's going the opposite direction, so it's a different look to the offense. He's still in the C gap. So now, things that stay the same. Field corner still ace. Falcon still going to screw down and be deuce on the snap. Now, here's the key. Okay, the three linebackers who are available to cover are, again, the two outside like here and the backer. It's, again, going to be a Rob combo. But since the dime is away from the three receivers, the dime can't be the tray. So instead, the whip's going to be the tray, and the dime is going to, on the snap, sprint to the middle third. This dime is a hybrid. In this situation, he'd be a fifth DB, so he can get there. And we even teach them how, snap indicators, when to start cheating and start sprinting to the middle. So now on the snap, the term is we use poach. Okay, so the whip is going to utilize the same technique that he does in check pit. He's going to poach number 3. So not subscribers, you got to push the button. All right. So on the snap of the football, he's going to run lateral with his eyes on number 3. So yes, it is definitely hard if he runs some kind of an arrow route and he's got to chase late. That's fine. We'll give that up because we're betting that the pressure is going to affect the throw. Okay, we're betting that we can force the quarterback to throw the shortest route in the concept. Okay, but one thing we are going to make sure of in not betting is that number 3 is not going to beat us deep, because in this case, the whip has got him deep. Okay? And sorry, again, the boundary has ace. So again, the rover is going to run over. Backer's going to pop off. So we got a linebacker on either side to combo the running back. So you want to talk about 4 entirely different looks from the same single plug pressure max? That's what our sim pressure disguise system can do for us. Okay? So again, I want to thank you for watching my channel because I do really appreciate it.